Welcome back, little fuckers. Trade recap number 18. We're back on the charts today. Different chart price action. Today, we actually had a beautiful trade before getting stopped out like a motherfucker because DXY wanted to be a bitch and buyers wanted to be buyers on a fucking bearish day. You know, it is what it is, really. No, but you know, every time I learn something new in the markets, I see it happen right away. And today we're going to talk about London highs, London lows, Asia highs, Asian lows, and obviously New York highs and New York lows. So if you're not familiar with the London highs, London lows, basically there's this indicator, which I don't have right now because it just disappears every time, but it basically tells you where the London highs are and the London lows, and then I just duplicate them and actually make a line here so I can take the indicator away. But the Asia lows got swept, and London highs here on the New York section on SPX were still here up for grabs. Okay, London lows here, as you can see, got swept, got completely ran through, so we don't need to worry about that, right? But London highs still remained, and this also was true on NQ, and London should be, wait, where did I see this on freaking, wait a minute, was it QQQ? It might have been on QQQ, actually, that I saw this. Yeah, it wasn't QQQ. That's what it was. Okay. Yeah, so QQQ had the same indicator, right? The London highs thing. And this right here, I want you to notice that 8:30 right here, this was the open. And so pre-market, right? Pre-market, we create this London highs. And this is important because at first I didn't realize, I thought this was just liquidity, which it is. It is liquidity, but it's the London highs, right? It's the session of London that is making these highs. And as you see, this has a huge impact onto where price wants to go. And I'll tell you, QQQ actually has a good analysis on this because I have a clean chart on this. And unlike SPX, I can actually talk here. And so London highs are here. I marked it. Okay. When the market opened, as you can see, we're on the 5-minute time graph. We have all of this liquidity to be ran, and nothing on QQQ speaks to me for price to come to this like specific point right here. Even if you go on like regular trading hours, there is a gap. Okay, but the gap is this. It's this whole thing. This is the gap. So as you can see, price here at the first candle, right? Where's the 9:30? Let's go back to extended. So it almost fills the gap, but at 9:30, right, this candle, I guess it hits the gap. Okay, well, there you go. Hits that, the volume imbalance gap that it wants to fill, hits it, gets rejected. Now, this is where I took my trade on QQQ. I actually took it on SPX, but the contract went through on QQQ, and I took shorts. And I had it on SPX too, and I'll show you. I even recorded it live on shorts, and I'll tell you exactly why I took this trade. So, and this is a lot of analysis, but we were stuck in this 30-minute fair value gap. And I wanted to see, obviously there was New York highs, New York lows. And so I marked this as buy-side liquidity. I didn't mark this as buy-side because this was the New York high buy-side and not this. So I marked it. I said, okay, fuck it, we'll do this. And then I knew that above this, there was some kind of order block. So I came down to the 3-minute, 1 minute, I guess. This was the order block. Fair value gap, it looked like. Okay, so it was a fair value gap that filled in that liquidity. So I was like, okay, well, price wants to come here, reach for that. And what actually ended up happening was exactly what I thought. And you can see it was a strong trade, very risky, but strong. And it entered right here. QQQ did the same thing, right? Same move, just to have a larger impact. So QQQ basically entered right at the tippy top, targeted down on my lows, right? And then boom. SPX took the trade beautifully, right? A nice, what's the risk reward? I don't even know on this. I don't even know. Can we make it like compact? Risk reward 3 to, okay. So 3 to 1. Not too bad. Not too bad, but it is what it is. Nice little, you know, this was very quick. Like this is market open, like literally opened right here, bro. Like market opened right here. And I actually have in my notes, which I'm pulling up right now, right? I'm not sure if this is in my notes. There's a bunch of stuff. Okay, never mind. It's down here. Remember okay. This is part of my strategy, current strategy. Remember to never trade on red folder days in FOMC, and then never trade on chop nor shit price action when nothing's moving. Don't trade before 10 a.m. Only watch price action. You can trade, but don't hold as price will run through your shit. And this is right. Because this is not even, literally 5 minutes, right? Literally 5 minutes after market open, I enter a position. That, my friends, that is risky. That is not something you want to do. But that is when the market is the most volatile. That and when market closes. So price is going to move wherever it wants to go. So as we can see, we sweep this buy side. If it was going to keep going higher, it was going to keep going higher. Stop loss would have been there to stop me, right? But I had a very strong indication that this was going to go down. Even though my current bias of the day was bullish, I realized I just had to look at DXY for a few minutes and realize that the price action for DXY was actually much, as you can see, I thought that DXY would come lower and break through this fair value gap and reach for sell side. Turns out it didn't, and it actually filled this, it actually basically tapped into that high right here, which allowed price to push up. And if DXY pushes up to these levels of liquidity right here that I have marked out later, then SPX would go down. And so with that bias in mind, that I knew that on the 5 minute when 9:30 happened, right on today's Wednesday, so Wednesday 9:30, let's find it right here. What I wanted to see was price come down, right, for a move up into this buy side, and then bounce back up, because that would mean that we're going down. And that's exactly what happened, right? When I saw this bounce up, and then so I entered my short, and then we actually got stopped out really quickly. There was consolidation, and then there was like, even came down here to this, I think it was this 1 minute, if not 3 minute fair value gap or order, I think it was in a fair value gap right here to be tapped into. Not really had the zone marked out when I recorded my live session, because I didn't really have this set price in mind. Didn't really know if price was going to really break through this fair value gap. It eventually did, but what I was not expecting is this big ass move. And you might think like, this is a huge candle, and this happened in like 5 minutes. This was huge. When I saw this live, I was like, holy fuck, like we just got taken out. Like this went from here to boom. And again, this is right at consolidation. Like you look at this price action, it's shit. It's not moving. There's no trend. This is the manipulation, right? This is manipulation right here. This is all manipulation. And then you have distribution, or no, accumulation, distribution. No, fuck, what am I doing? Distribution. Okay. I'm talking too much. This right here, this red part, that right there is accumulation. This candle right here, as I'm highlighting in green, that right there is manipulation. And then this right here in red, in orange, that is distribution. That's the AMD setup. But then the same thing could be said here. But this was to take out sell side. And this actually was, you know what this was to take out, and which I haven't been very careful about. This was to take out QQQ's London highs. This is this big move that we're seeing on SPX, this huge move. This was for London highs, which was the target. This sell side liquidity made price go down. Now, obviously, when you see this, right, when you see a huge gap up like this and a huge distribution up, and this candle just absolutely reject, you're not thinking, I never in a million years would think that price would just come running back up. Hence why you wait until it's 10. See, if I waited until this red line, I would have waited for price to come down. And if it went down even further, I could still get in a trade somehow. I would find a way, right? I could just randomly enter, but I could also get in a trade. I wouldn't miss out on much, right? I don't have to get to the very, very tippy top. If I waited until 10, I would have seen this price action come up, and I would have seen this right here get stopped by a fair value gap and just bounce right back up to see these London highs. I would have seen, oh, let's look at NQ. What's happening on NQ? The same thing, and it actually touches perfectly. London highs right here, tapped into that. NQ actually had a perfect price action with this 5-minute fair value gap right here. Perfect price action. Tapped into it, supported it, came right back up to London highs to fully sweep this and to fully trade through this 5-minute fair value gap all the way down to lower prices. And I believe low of, was it previous day? The weekly low. It actually came under the weekly low. Did it? Why is this so, wait, this is the weekly low? What the fuck was I doing? Oh, fair value gap low. Okay. I was thinking though. Yeah, so this is the weekly fair value gap low. So it's this fair value gap here. So it disrespected this fair value gap too. Okay, so it even came down, wanted to price itself at the fair value gap, traded through the fair value gap, came back to the fair value gap, which is now used as a balanced price range, also used as an inversion fair value gap. So you could also go short here if you really wanted. And that was the it for the day. Now, why did it target all the way down here? That would have to be because of something else, right? That's not really the target we were aiming for. But if you look on NQ, the price action itself, I've seen even on TikTok that this was going to be bearish the moment that this fair value gap was broken into. As you can see, for me, it was bullish because I don't really know. I would think that it was bearish, yes, to get this liquidity, this liquidity, this liquidity, right? These swing lows right here. That's fine. I completely understand. But I never expected price to run all the way down to almost this. I'm pretty sure this is previous week low. Yeah, it is previous week low. And I believe that if we've gone down this far, right, the only gap we need to fill is this. Fucking magnet, dude. Sometimes it's annoying. The only gap we need to fill is this little tiny imbalance right there, just to get to that previous weekly low, and then we can bounce right back up. So price is close enough to come down. So I believe that tomorrow, I'm pretty sure, even if we check news, there will be news tomorrow, high impact news, and NASDAQ will come down, SPX will go down, right? So again, even on SPX, right, if I waited for 10 right here, I would have seen this beautiful candle get eaten up and say, okay, well, this is bullish. Why? And then get all this bullish, really price action all the way here, right? This candle right here came all the way. I'm like, why is this getting bought up? And it actually went to sweep this liquidity up here, which it didn't grab yet. So swept this, swept that, swept this. 3 liquidities taken, swept back down. And so you would think at that point, okay, well, it swept all the fucking liquidities. When is it going to go down? Sweep this, comes down, consolidation, and just fucking pumps out of nowhere, because we're still in this like daily fair value gap low to this order block. Kind of have this like weird mentality with this fair value gap kind of like consolidating in the zone. Breaks out, grabs the SMT divergence right here with NQ, QQQ that hits the target, boom, and then this plummets, SPX plummets, NQ plummets. Boom. So the only rule, if I had waited, and if I waited for 10 a.m., watched the price action, and if I had looked on NQ, QQQ, and DXY at the same time, had all those shorts up, I could have been maybe a little more profitable. But you have to understand, from my point of view, it's very hard to do that and to look at multiple screens at a time, because I have one laptop and one phone. And although I could do it, it's also the time, bro. The timing is horrible. Like today, I had the perfect timing. I was in free period literally at 9, 9:30, 10. That's why I took the trade, because at 10, I was in advisory. I was moving around the fucking school, so I couldn't watch this. Hence made it bad. And if I came back to my room like I was like, okay, let's get to trade. I need to settle down for a few minutes to really understand what's going on. I need to catch up on price action to really know what's going on. I can't just hop in the charts and start trading. That's the worst thing you could do, that I could do. So with that being said, right, a couple of rules that need to be noted down. 10 a.m. is when you start trading, right? You watch everything before, and if nothing comes up at 10 a.m. or after, don't trade. There's no need to trade every single day. Second rule or note is to look at multiple charts. If you have QQQ, if you have NQ and DXY charted up and ready to go and levels to be set, look at them. They might be helpful. And as you can see, I've seen this yesterday too, the SMT divergence works. SPX doesn't always sweep what NQ and QQQ sweeps, right? The NASDAQ might not sweep what SPX or the S&P 500 sweeps. But if the NASDAQ is more volatile, that means that the S&P 500 will follow NQ. It will follow the NASDAQs. And knowing that NQ contracts are a bit stronger with ES also there, you can see the difference, right? This London high, I know exactly. These were the London highs up here. And the contracts for ES didn't sweep that. So that shows you something, that ES, SPX work together, obviously, and QQQ and NQ work together. I might actually put them together, right? So yeah, that's the lesson today. I don't want to make it too big because it's got to upload. I'll see you guys tomorrow.